So a lot of people want to know what is going to happen when I come to their house to talk about selling their home. And it's not intimidating, it's not a big deal. It's a pretty well organized process at this point, and I'd be happy to walk you through it. Typically, we start out by looking around the home. It's a great way to build rapport. It informs our further conversations about the house, and it just gives us a chance to relax and get to know each other a little bit. I also bring a copy of this room by room organizing guide for you, which gives you an opportunity to make some notes as we talk through, any improvements that you've made to the home. And after I leave, anything that you want to do to kind of get the home cleaned up and ready to sell. Some people do find that their house is in perfect condition and all they need to do is pack their bags and leave. But most of us find that there are a couple of honeydew projects and things like that around the house that they want to get done in order to present the property at its best. If there's anything major, I'll bring this flyer for you. This is a contracting company that markets itself to real estate agents primarily because it delays payment until after the home is sold. So they do all the project management and they wait to get paid until you get paid. So it's very easy. If you did have any projects that you wanted to do, we were talking about updating a kitchen or a bathroom, carpet paint, those types of things, we can get it done all in one fell swoop by going through them. It's just an option, it's not a requirement. We'll also talk a little bit about your furniture placement, possibly depersonalizing the home. And ideally, if it's going to be vacant, I like to have it staged. So I'll bring this as well. This is information about staging a home. And statistics show that staging your home actually helps it sell more quickly and for more money. And in this market, we don't really need it faster, but getting buyers emotionally involved with the property does help them be willing to pay more for the home. So that's a really good idea. And if you like, I can also get you a copy of our quarterly sellers guides. These talk about how the market is doing, what buyers are looking for, how to get your home ready for sale. It's just a really nice piece to kind of introduce you to the process. And again, we do update those. Dropped it. We do update those regularly. So after we have kind of gone through the house, talked about what we want to do with it and that type of a thing, then my goal is really to answer your questions about what you'd like to see your agent doing when it comes to sell your house. I have tons of information that I can go through in minute detail if you're a detail person, but most people don't want to be bored by a long sales pitch. So I try to tailor my comments to the things that are most important to you. What is it that we do to market the home to make sure it has massive market exposure? How do we negotiate with the buyers to get the most out of them that we can? My listings tend to sell, right now I think we're averaging 34% above list price, and that's well above the market average even in this hot time. So it's important, the things that we do, and I'd be happy to explain them to you in more depth. While we're there, I actually usually start out with this sheet. It has 44 things on it that I want to make sure that we touch on. And then I also call this my opening ceremonies sheet. And this is where I get things like, oh, what types of wine do you enjoy? Do you prefer tea or coffee? What kind of music do you listen to? What about your spouse? When is your birthday? When is your anniversary? And you may be able to guess why I'm collecting some of this information, but it's also good for me to have just your name, email, and phone number so that we can make sure that we have excellent communication throughout the sales process. The National Association of Realtors tells us that the number one complaint people have about their real estate agents is lack of good communication. So I really try to systematize that so that you know what's going on every step of the way. Then we dive into a little bit more of the detail on your property. I bring something that looks like this. It's kind of a map showing other sales around your home. It'll talk through details, square footage, lot size, bedrooms, bathrooms. You can look through pictures of these properties so you can really get an idea of what other homes in your market have been selling for and how the competition compares to your property. That helps us to be very strategic when it comes to pricing and positioning your property in the marketplace. Now, of course, we want to be compliant with all the rules and laws, so I bring a fair housing pamphlet, which talks about, not being biased when it comes to choosing the purchaser for your home. And then we also have one that talks through the law of real estate agency so that you can fully understand what my roles and obligations are to you as far as representing your best interests, not mine, making sure that your information is private, making sure that you get, for example, all of the offers that come in. It could, in the good old days, in the wild, wild west, people might have been like, oh, I'm submitting this lowball offer on your house. And the agent would say, well, I'm not going to submit that. That's going to make me look bad. No, I mean, that's against the law now. And what we need to do is make sure that you get all the information. I am here to help you interpret it, but I am not here to screen it away from you in any regards. We are also going to, what else do we have here? Oh, just a little bit of other stuff. I'll bring the tax records for your property and any statistics on the market so that if we need to clarify things like the lot size and those types of details that you don't have, I'll have access to that. Then we'll go through the listing agreement. This is a 3-page document, and it basically, we just need to fill in names and the date you want to go live. We talk about the commission and how that works. We have some options for you there. And then it just talks about things like fair housing, as explained in the other document, and those types of things. That you sign it, it's 2.5 pages, no big deal. We have a couple other forms that are a little bit longer, and usually I take one and I work on that, and I leave one for you and you work on that. This longer one that's for you to work on is a Washington State required form. It's 6 pages long, and it gives all sorts of questions, tiny boxes and tiny print. Oh, gone the wrong way. So it's things like, has your roof ever leaked? Do you have any termites? Do you have any cracks in the foundation? What about windows, subfloor, chimney? Are you close enough to the fire department that if your house catches on fire, they could spray off your roof with the hose? Those types of things are all in here. And this is for the buyer to really know what they're getting into. Washington State requires every seller fill this out. And if you have any questions on that, I'm happy to help you. But this is a really important document because it survives closing, and meaning the sellers need to disclose everything, and if they don't and the buyer finds out even after they've bought the home, then the buyer could have a lawsuit. So it's very important that we get that done and filled out correctly. And then this is the one I'll take to fill out. This is the listing input sheet. So this is everything that we want to appear on the MLS, and that will be pretty detailed as well. I'll fill that out, and then I will get it to you for your review, and if I have any questions, we can go over it at that time. So that's about it. It usually takes an hour or so to go through all of this, just kind of depending on how much you want to chat, how many questions you have, that type of a thing. I usually try to block about 2 hours, just so if it does go, I've had these things go 4 hours where people want to buy and they want to sell and they want to feed me cake and all sorts of things are happening. And that's lovely too, but I usually schedule about 2 hours just to make sure that we have enough time to go over your questions. If you want to be in and out in 15 minutes, that's great with me. Anyway, I hope this was helpful. You get an idea of what to expect when I come out. I will have a slick folder like this all prepared for you with this information. And of course, we'll go into some detail on our marketing and our secret sauce. What is it that you get for your money here with the listing? So I'll probably explain that in another video, so this one doesn't take too long. But if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Thanks so much.